Hello, everyone. Welcome in this evening. I am working on donations tonight. I wanted to let you guys know I'm not going to be doing free readings. I'm just going to be doing donations for the night. So if you want to donate, go for it. And if not, you can feel free to stick around with us and listen in while I do readings, or I can see you sometime next week. So the first person on our list is James. He's a donation for tonight. So he donated for a channeled message, a love to, and a BOGO. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on his readings. And if anybody would like to donate, feel free. Hello. For those of you who are welcoming in, if it's James, just let me know. Check in with me. I know that people will probably be popping in and out of the chat thinking I'm doing free readings tonight. Sorry about that I'm not. This was the only way for me to join in tonight to make sure that I was able to get some readings done for you guys. I had to cut out the first 15 minutes that normally takes some time away from donations. We are in the process for pulling for James. We're working on a channeled message for him. Hey, Amy, welcome in. I knew I could count on you to at least come in and say hi. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. As you know, I suffer from, or I'm trying to heal from, I should say, some underlying like health conditions. And like, I know that like once or twice a month I have flare-ups, and today is one of those days. Not to mention it's in conjunction with my cycle, and so I'm extremely tired today. And I just like, it took everything in me to get on tonight. But I know that I had a pre-order that I still had to get done, and so I was like, while I'm doing that, I might as well go live to see if anybody else wanted to get a reading. You said you just got back home from an outing to Red Robin's and buying Hello Kitty wrapping paper. Oh, that's awesome. You know, at Red Robin, they do a free cheeseburger for your birthday. Did you know that? If you're not signed up for the rewards in their email list, make sure you do that before your birthday comes around, because free cheeseburger, you know? I don't always, the one that lives near me is not super close, so I don't always get to take advantage of that. But when I'm in the area, it's nice. Yep, you get a cheeseburger or free burger, and I think you get your choice of like one or two. It might be, I don't know these days anymore. It might just be like a bacon cheeseburger or something. But basically, it's a free freaking burger, and you just order fries with it, and it's like less than half the price. So definitely sign up for their email list, because they email me every time my birthday is here and tell me that I have a free burger waiting. It's funny because like I used to hit it up. I used to go like Red Robin and I would get a burger, and then I would go to Chili's and I would get a dessert, and I would go to Tropical Smoothie and get a free smoothie, and like basically I would just I would just hit up all the places, and then I go somewhere else and get like a free app, and then I would like bring all of my stuff home and then just have like a smorgasbord of like free stuff. It's awesome, but there are some places who are cracking down on it and not being as nice about it as they usually are. But Red Robin never fails. It's always a cheeseburger. Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. I just got bonsai burger, which is teriyaki glaze. Oh, see, you must like sweet and savory mixed together. That's so big brain. You're so funny. Yeah, I mean, kind of though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing that. I mean, you know, you got to get it where you can. Like, I remember being a teenager. I was like, this must have been 15 years ago, and this is like 15, 20 years ago when like everyone started doing the rewards. Like everyone was doing it. And like I'm working at, you know, $7, $8 an hour. I wasn't making a lot of money, so that's what I used to do all the time. At this point, you know, if I want a burger, I'm just going to get a burger. But it is nice, though. It does come in handy sometimes, because if you're in the area of wherever the free item is, it makes it worth it. It's not worth this whole special trip up there for me because I'm like 30 minutes away, but it is definitely nice when you're in the area and you know that you can use it. And some of the places, like, you can only use it on your birthday. Sometimes it's only the week of your birthday. Sometimes it's the month of your birthday. So, and sign up for like Ulta Point, Sephora rewards. Like, a lot of people want to help you out on your birthday. Now, I do think that this has caught on quite a bit. I've seen people on TikTok talking about it, which of course, as my sister says, I'm the trendsetter. I've thought about things 10 years before it happens. And so by the time that it comes around, I don't do it anymore. But take advantage while you can is all I'm saying. And I know your birthday's, wait, are you Libra? So yeah, make I know your birthday's already passed. So just, I don't know why I thought you were Aquarius for a second there. Um just make sure that you get that in so you don't miss it the next time it comes around. Hey Ray. Minimum wage was so freaking low, girl. When I started working, I was making like $6 an hour. I was working at Party City. That was my first job. And that job is the best thing that ever happened to me. That job was my favorite job that I've ever worked, hands down. I met some great people, I met my best friend there. So we've been friends since, oh my God, 2003, something like that, 20 years. And I met her there. I met some other close friends that I had that were really important to me growing up that actually came to my wedding there. But yeah, it was $6 an hour. 6. And they would only give you a raise of like 15 cents at a time. It was crazy. Yeah, Party City. And it was different than it is now, but like it was a lot of fun. I just spent my days, I was a lead, like a shift lead, like a key holder. And I would just spend my days behind the balloon counter just blowing up balloons all day. Thank you, Ray. I'm working on a James right now. but I will be with you right after that. If you want to leave your question with me, feel free, or just stick around. It's up to you. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really, really liked that job. I think it was a great first job. I started there during Halloween when they were hiring, and I was only going to be seasonal, but they told me that they liked me so much that I could stay on full time, and so I did. No, wrapping gifts is like the funnest part. Like shopping for them, oh, it's okay. The money part of it, not the best, but like wrapping them, it really gets you in the spirit of Christmas. So, Amy, do both of your parents celebrate Christmas? You said you bought a pack of good tape. You kind of celebrate good tape, like the clear kind, like that kind. Hey, Nazia, we're not doing free questions tonight. So sorry. Gifts and eating dinner. That's the important part, you know? Like that is the important part. Yeah, no, that makes sense. You said, yeah, it's the clear kind of tape. Oh, that's awesome. You'll have to send me pictures of your gifts since you're so excited about wrapping them. It sounds like you're good at wrapping. You do a cute job. Traditional bows. I actually saw someone on TikTok. So I'm only ever on TikTok for educational purposes. If I'm saving something to watch later, it's like quantum physics, epigenetics, um, astrocartography, like stuff like that. Like that's really important to me. And so if I'm like timeline shifts and multiverses, like that's the kind of stuff I learned. But I did come across this girl who said that she used to work, I want to say, at a gift wrapping place in the mall, and she was showing people online how to make bows out of ribbon, like homemade bows. Not the bows that you like that look like the ones you wear in your hair, but the kind of bows that you stick onto presents that have like the multi puff like look to them. So you could always look on there if you ever really wanted to one day. Yeah, check out TikTok, honestly. You'll probably find some good stuff there. Catch me on the flip side. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that's cool, Amy. I mean, even if you want to pop back in and listen like a podcast, that's fine too, because I'm going to do some readings here in just a bit. But if not, I hope you have a good night, and I will see you guys next week. All right, James, I'm not sure if you're in here or not, but I am almost done with your channeled message. And then I will be working on your love too. After James, we have Ray. And then after Ray, the donation list is open. Ooh. James, I don't know if you're in here or not, but this girl's got a sharp tongue tonight. I don't know what the hell is going on. All right, James. I think that's done. I'm going to go ahead and send you a copy. I'm not sure if you're around. By the time that you see this, your readings might be done. But I did send you a message to let you know that I was going to be working on yours during the live. All right, so she says, I'm just done. We've been at this for far too long, and I'm not going to keep wasting my time when clearly neither of us are willing to do what it takes to make this work. You made your point, I made mine, and this is where we are now. It's fine this way. I am not going to beg you to change. I don't want to myself because I like who I am. I'm tired of the back and forth. You can keep waiting for me, but that never really worked out for you before. I know you're reading this thinking I'm being cold or dismissive, but it is what it is. That was a big old yikes, in my opinion, because like the whole line of you can keep waiting for me, but that never really worked out for you before, like that was clearly meant to hurt you. I don't know. That just seemed like quite a lot. But anyways, let's get on to your love two. All right. So I'm getting that she's feeling like this connection is just extremely dysfunctional. Like, I just don't think that she thinks it's good for either one of you. It's just something about it is just not working. I really don't think that she's quite like willing to take accountability at all for this. Shoot, I just had the Ten of Cups in reverse. I'm trying to find it again. It got mixed up in my deck. I'm pretty sure it was the 10 in reverse. I just want to double check it. The 10 of Cups in reverse. I mean, the 10 of Cups is something that, usually shows up in your readings, and it is still here. It's just not exactly the way that you'd want it to be. Yeah, it was the 10 of Cups. It just talks about how, like, you guys are unhappy, dysfunctional, disorganized. It's just something about this is just not working. I feel like she's showing up in the connection with a lack of passion and energy and commitment. I feel like she's being arrogant. She's being reckless. I think the Knight of Wands is what showed up in the past as well for this. I feel like she's not actively pursuing the relationship anymore and is withdrawing or feeling disengaged. I think her thoughts and feelings is that she's burnt out. She feels that whatever was here, if there was anything at all, it's just not there anymore. And I don't think she really knows if it's going to come back. I don't know if she really cares at this point to try to make it come back, but I do see that she's not putting any effort or rushing forward, and that's kind of like what her intentions are. I do feel like she's a bit restless here, but that could be because she's still dealing with the aftermath of the things that you've said. I think that on the surface she's trying to act like she's fine with the things that you've said, but I do think that you struck a nerve with certain points, and I think she's still stewing at like how ridiculous you were to her and like how mad you got. I think part of her thinks it's funny, but I think part of it is like, wow, that's messed up. And I think she's still reeling about it. Truth be told, I think this is something that she's kind of dealing with on her own. She might have told someone close to her, like a family member or a close friend, but I truthfully don't feel like she's really trying to um, talk about you, because I think she's really just trying to move on or like let it go. And the other thing is that in order to state what's happened between you guys and like her frustration, she would then also have to explain her contributions to what brought you to this point in the first place. And I just don't think she really wants to go there with anyone, if that makes sense. um I feel like her intentions are to not take any action. As I mentioned, a week ago, I think it was, if she does, it's going to be erratic. It's going to be impulsive. It's going to be like a pop in randomly to say something and then like be done. This is not like a grounded, sustainable, like an engagement interaction with her. Where am I? I feel like this argument kind of fired her up in like a weird way. I do know that I had mentioned before that there was like some feelings of being pleased or being happy that this happened, because like you said, now it fits her narrative and now she has something tangible to say, oh hey, I was right, and something to validate herself. And so I feel like there's like partly that. I think also she's used to toxic cycles, she's used to toxic relationships. And I feel like this was just very comfortable for her. This is a place that she's used to. This is a place where she's like, oh, like I'm familiar here. Like I know, like I don't know why. It's like arguing with you brought her a sense of comfort or something, which is like really strange to say. But it's like the act itself of like arguing with you was making her feel like at home. And it's like interesting because there are people who think this way. There are people who like want to argue, they want to be negative, they want to fight. Like it's something about it that makes them feel like this is nice, this is familiar, this is what I like. And they want to be aggressive, and it's just not good. The devil with her feelings towards you is just like, I don't freaking know. I don't think that it made her like you more, but I do think it made her like say, okay, he has some balls, like I wouldn't say it's respect and I wouldn't say it's attraction, but I would say there was some type of recognition there of like, okay, she or he like really showed up is kind of what it feels like. But I do think that there could be some resentment here as well for some of the things that you have said. I think that she's kind of just moving forward, but not necessarily in a way that involves you. The blocks and influences, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which indicates like previously you might have been putting more to this connection than she was, and now it's like neither of you are. So it's like the scales are empty. Basically, nothing is being reciprocated. Nothing positive is being reciprocated. If anything, it's just negative. It's stewing, it's frustration, it's annoyance, it's underappreciation, it's resentment, frustration, all of that stuff. And then the overall energy, we have the world upright, and it speaks to completion, cycles coming to an end and moving forward into a new phase. So I think her overall energy is just like wrapping this up. And it doesn't necessarily mean she's reached the end of the road with you or that you've reached the end of the road with her. But I do think that this is something that would naturally come to an end if neither of you guys are putting effort into it. And it seems like you guys are at a stalemate right now. So things may have run its course at this point. All right. So let me do your BOGO. Ray, if you're still in here and you want to check in with me, feel free to do so. I have you down for a mini, so you can also post your question if you're ready. BOGO for James. What were her true intentions? All right, so when everything kind of started with you, well, and I will say this is not stemming back. I'm not picking up the energy of like all over, like basically overall energy, like what were her intentions overall? Because I do think in different segments of your life, there were different intentions. Okay. But I am going to say within the last year, because I think that's the height of this recent connection that you've had with her has been about a year. I remember this time last year, it's almost like you started and ended in the same place with her or something. But so we're going to do a year. We're going to see where her head has been at. I do think at the height of your communication, she thought to herself that you brought a lot of comfort to her, and she liked that feeling. And I think that she enjoyed feeling cared for and feeling doted on, so to speak. I think she liked the attention with you. And I think that she thought to herself that if I'm ever interested in having a relationship, if I ever get to that point, I could potentially see myself being in a relationship with him. I think that she did a lot of things and made a lot of choices that definitely led you on. I think that in her mind, she thought that she wasn't. In her mind, she thought, I've done enough to explain to him that I'm not ready for a relationship. I don't want a relationship. It's not what I'm looking for. And he kept trying to fit me into this puzzle that was just not me. And I feel like for her, she couldn't get past like the whole, you wanting something more with her, because it didn't allow for space for her to figure out what she wanted. I think that if you were very unattached, I think if you were just like whatever, if you never asked her out, if you never got her gifts, if you never spent time with her, you just seemed aloof and you let her come to you. Well, the precedent had been set. Let's just be real. You are who you are, and it's not really fair for you to change any aspect of yourself and how you would pursue someone, because very clearly there are women out there who would be interested in how you conduct yourself in a like courting situation. She just wasn't that girl. And I feel like if you were to just not be yourself, if you were to not show interest, if you were to say, you know what, you're cool girl, Patty, but like I'm not looking for anything, and you were to let her come to you and you were to let her set the plans, and she never really felt your affections, it's like your support and your unconditional love and all of that stuff, it almost became like an ick to her for some reason. And it's like she couldn't get past your affections for her in order to have room for how she felt and figure that out. So if you had just been very aloof, just like I don't care, just kind of like this background character in her life, she may have felt with you when she would spend time with you in person and stuff like that. She may have felt like she could sort out her feelings a little bit better. And I think that's really what she was hoping to do at some point, because I do think that she sees the potential in you. And I think she sees what the connection could be if you guys were able to arrive at that same place at the same time. I think the problem is that even if you were like acting cool, even if you were like, oh, like I'm nonchalant, I'm not going to force anything, I'm not going to tell her how I feel, we're just going to vibe, we're just going to have a good time. Unfortunately, the precedent had already been set. She knew you had feelings for her, and there's no coming back from that. Even if you try to change who you are and act different and act like you don't care, it's like she still knows. And so like that's always going to be there. I think the only way for her to have been able to sort out her feelings after the precedent was set was for you to date someone else, and she becomes like a third wheel to that. So like, oh, hey Patty, this is my girlfriend so and so, like, and then you guys are all hanging out together like at a fair or something, at an event, and she's able to see you take that attention that was once on her and put it onto someone else, then maybe she could figure out her feelings for you. But I think it was just like, if it was one-on-one, or like you were always around each other and she knew you didn't have any other interest, it was like it was too hard for her to sort out how she felt for you. And so I think, to conclude and in a whole, I think you would have had to be someone completely different than who you naturally are in order to appease her. And I think she needed that from you in order to figure out if you were someone she wanted to be with. So it was always going to be with Patty, maybe one day down the line, maybe one day in the future. And for her, it was never a right now. I don't feel like there was a single time in the last year that she ever thought to herself, I could be with him right now. And I think that was the intention, was to keep an open door to you, continue to have access to you, in the chance that she decided one day she was ready to be in a relationship, in the chance that she decided one day that she was ready for something real and something healthy, because she did see that potential in you that you were able to provide. And I think as much as you wanted her to want you, I think she wanted you to change. She wanted you to be someone you were not. And then you guys, kind of this epiphany that's coming through from spirit right now, is that you both were trying to fit each other into a mold that did not exist. You were both trying to fit each other into a puzzle piece that did not fit. Like, she wanted to change parts of who you fundamentally were, and then she wanted to change parts of you who she thought you were, when really that's not true about you. But she thought that it was. And so she wanted you to be different. She was, confirmation bias, as you said. She wanted to, have you fit the mold of a certain narrative and then tell you to change that part of yourself. And then you wanted her to change. You wanted her to grow and heal and do shadow work and go to therapy. And it's just like, in a nutshell, when it all comes down to it, you both just wanted each other to be different, because there were parts of each other that you didn't like and you wanted to change, and you wanted them to feel differently, you wanted them to act differently, and vice versa. And that just wasn't ever what it was going to be. And I think you would have continued to wait. And I know that I've told you that many times in readings before. And I think she would have continued to make you wait. All right, so let's take a look at any messages from spirit. Any messages from spirit. Is Ray here? Ray, if you're here, if you can check in with me, friends. I'm doing the last reading before it's your turn. So if you can check in, that would be great. Messages from spirit regarding their future together. So we do have the High Priestess, which talks about mystery, things yet to be revealed. Time will tell. We have the Hermit here as well. Lots of water imagery. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So the Knight of Cups in reverse is like when you're pursuing a connection with someone and they're not returning that feeling, they're not reciprocating, so it kind of feels like an unrequited love. And we're talking about the future of your connection. And so what it feels like to me is everything that you guys have gone through. And maybe it would have ended this way no matter what, but more specifically because of the energy shift that has happened between you guys, much needed, of course, but because it's happened, it feels like to me that your future involves her continuing not to reciprocate your feelings for her. Everyone knows what unrequited love is. So it's like where you have affections for someone that does not return them. And that's what it feels like for your future, for your connection. It's like you're pursuing something that isn't going to be returned to you. I see a very individualized future right now with her. Like you're taking your own path and she's taking her own. You're becoming more in charge and decisive and independent. You're reallocating your loyalty. You are becoming more optimistic and inspired by other things. And you're kind of lending your attention in other directions outside of her. I feel like you guys might be at opposition right now and in the future as well, because we have the Ten of Swords. So this can talk about like becoming enemies, which I feel like is a very strong word. So I don't feel like you guys hate each other or anything like that. But whatever, like, from lovers to enemies, like whatever that could mean. It's just like you guys are opposing each other right now. And it's just not a good category to be in with someone that you care for, because feelings don't just go away. There's a lot of bitterness between you guys in the future. The one thing that I'm hearing is to just make sure that you're not allowing your resentment for one another to spill into future connections. It's tough because I know, James, kind of what's going on with you. You're kind of getting to know someone right now, and you want to feel like the door is shut. You don't want residual feelings to go into another connection, and maybe this person's helping you realize that like there is something out there. But just make sure that you're being fair to this new person and like really giving them a fair shake. And you definitely don't want to talk too much about past connections, but you want to be honest with her. You don't want her to think like if you're still having like longing feelings for someone else, that's not fair to this new person you're talking to. So you got to find a way to be honest with her. And if you are ready to move on, if you are ready to pursue this, you really got to nip this other thing in the butt, because can you imagine if it was the other way around? Maybe it is, I don't know. But if she was still pining for someone else while she was talking to you, that wouldn't feel very good, I'm sure. In the beginning, you probably wouldn't care because you'd be like, well, I don't have feelings for this person, so like she can do whatever she wants to do. She can date other people for all I care. But I think that once feelings start to happen, I think that it's going to start to feel very uncomfortable if she were to find out that you are still pining for someone else, if you still are. So I'm just saying, be fair, recognize the situation, especially if this girl's growing feelings for you. Just like make sure that you take care of her, because that's just not fair. And that's what I mean by Spirit saying making sure that your bitterness isn't spilling into your other relationships. Like you don't want Patty to have taken herself away from you and then also take this new person away from you too. Like that would be fucked up. So don't give her the time of day. If you really see something happening with this other person, like allow that to unfold. It's totally understandable to want to get like closure and want to get like, but just don't dwell in it, is what I'm saying. Don't spend more time than necessary on it. But as far as like the future of your connection, it just feels like collapsed. It feels like you guys are at opposition, and it doesn't feel like there's anything um, coming through. Now, with the high priestess, it says that things are yet to be revealed, but I pulled another card for confirmation, or like, I guess, clarity, and it's the Eight of Swords, and it's saying that there's always going to be this like victim mentality in your connection, in the future of your connection right now. Um, well, always and right now is kind of contradictory, but it seems like there's just going to continually, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, continually be that feeling of like victimization, like, oh, you, and instead of me, instead of looking, it's like me, selfishly, but you, it's your fault. Um, and so like there's this feeling of like restriction and imprisonment with the Eight of Swords, indicating that even though things are yet to be revealed and like the future of your connection is a mystery, it's like, I really don't think there's any coming back from this unless and until there's a lot of individualized growth on both sides. But, you know, um, yeah, I just kind of see you doing your own thing, to be honest. So that's what I've got, James. Let me know how you feel about these readings that you've gotten done. I'm going to actually send you a message really quickly and let you know. All readings are done and completed on live. All right, we're looking for Ray. Ray, if you are here, if you can please check in. Ray donated for a mini reading. Ray sent a message. Oh, so she donated via PayPal. So I'm going to send her a message on PayPal and let her know that we're ready for her. All right, we're going to give Ray just a few more minutes, but then I am going to go ahead and sign off because it looks like kind of slow tonight, to be honest. All right. So, Ray, I'm so sorry we missed each other. I've been calling on you for a little while. I remember when you came in and dropped your donation. I had said to leave your question with me because it's going to be a few minutes. However, I haven't seen you. Been calling on you for probably like 15, 20 minutes, I would say, to drop your question, and we still haven't heard from you. So I'm going to leave a comment in the chat for you. I am off on the weekends. I'm off on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're wanting to get a reading with me to redeem, you'll have to wait until Monday for that. You are more than welcome to send me a message via Luna Affinity on Instagram, or at Luna Affinity, I should say. And you can leave your question there with me, and I will get to it before I go live next time. But again, your reading probably won't be completed until Monday. I'm sorry we missed each other, but I will hold on to your donation until the next time that we see each other. Have a great night, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time.